called This is Passover. Can you see them all sitting at the Seder table together? There's the Seder plate and the matzah and the candles. What else do you see on this table? How different is a Shabbos table from a Passover table? Can you journal that in your journal tomorrow? This is the Seder table. Remember, long ago the Jews were slaves in Egypt. They had no freedom and they were owned by Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, who was cruel and he caused great suffering. So at Passover, we retell the story of how Moses led the Jewish people out of slavery to freedom. We have a Seder, which means the order. There is an order for all the things we do during the Seder. What foods do we prepare? We make charoset, and that it symbolizes the mortar, the cement that the Jewish slaves used to build Pharaoh's buildings. We have the shank bone to remind us of the special offerings of Hashem made by the Jews in the ancient times. We have the maror, or the bitter herbs, to remind us of the bitterness of slavery. We have matzah, which is the unleavened bread that the Israelites hurriedly made before they left Egypt. We have parsley, which symbolizes the coming of spring and new hope. We have the roasted egg to remind us of the sacrifice and new life. And we have the salt water to remind us of the tears shed by the people in slavery. This is the matzah, crisp and fine. This is a cup we will fill with wine, which goes on the Seder table. These are the Haggadahs which tell the story of slavery, suffering, and finally glory. That with the cup we fill with wine, and the matzah crisp and fine go on the Seder table. This is the salt water Papa will pour. There is a roasted egg and bitter maror. That with the Haggadahs which tell the story of slavery, suffering, and finally glory. And with the cup we fill with wine, and the matzah crisp and fine go on the Seder table. There are sprigs of parsley to dip in brine, apples and nuts mixed with wine. This is a shank bone which on this date is roasted and added to the Seder plate. That with the egg and bitter maror and the salt water Papa will pour. And the Haggadahs which tell the story of slavery, suffering, and finally glory. And with the cup we fill with wine, and the matzah crisp and fine go on the Seder table. These are the candles Mama will light. This is the wine for the Seder night. That with sprigs of parsley to dip in brine, and apples and nuts mixed with wine. And a shank bone which on this date is roasted and added to the Seder plate. And the egg and bitter maror, and the salt water Papa will pour. And the Haggadahs which tell the story of slavery, suffering, and finally glory. And with the cup we fill with wine, and the matzah crisp and fine go on the Seder table. Family members and some friends join together as daylight ends. Everyone listens as candles light, and so begins the Seder night. Happy Passover. Chag Sameach to all my friends.